Hey everyone, welcome. So is the 2026 Myers-Briggs test on your to-do list? Well, you're in exactly the right place. We're about to give you a huge head start. I'm going to walk you through the official practice test step by step so you can walk in feeling totally confident and really understand your results. All right, let's dive in.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll start with the biggest challenge most people face. Then, we're decoding the 6 core topics. After that, we'll check out some sample questions, I'll show you a great digital toolkit for prep, and finally, we'll put it all together so you can go from practice to pure confidence. Simple as that.
All right, first things first, the MBTI Test challenge and why prepping is absolutely key. You know, a lot of people think the MBTI is some kind of impossible puzzle they have to crack, but honestly, it's way simpler than that. It's just a structured tool, and once you get how that structure works, you're golden. That's the real secret to getting an accurate result.
So check this out. The source material shows a pretty surprising number, a full 50%. Yeah, about half of all people who take the MBTI feel like they got an inaccurate result the first time around. But here's the thing you really need to hear. That's not about them. It's not a failing. It all comes down to test day jitters and just not feeling confident, which, can totally throw off your answers.
And that, right there, is exactly why we're talking about this. It's not about being qualified enough. It's just about being prepared. This isn't some test of your value as a person, far from it. It's a tool to help you understand yourself better. The whole point isn't to get a good score, it's just to answer honestly. And when you're comfortable with how the test works, that's exactly what you'll be able to do.
So how do we build that confidence? Well, it all starts by knowing the test inside and out. Let's decode those 6 core topics and see what's actually on the 2026 test. Okay, here's the breakdown. The whole test is built around these 6 topics. And just look at this. The biggest chunks are understanding your own MBTI personality type and applying MBTI. I mean, that's more than half the test right there, which is awesome. The rest is all about nailing down your preferences in those 4 key areas. Things like where you draw your energy from or how you tend to make decisions. Let's take a closer look at one of these, extroversion versus introversion, because this is where a lot of people get tripped up. Seriously, it has nothing to do with being shy or outgoing. Think of it like your phone's battery. Are you the type of person who recharges by being around a ton of people at a party? Or do you need to plug into some quiet time alone to get your energy back? Figuring that out is fundamental to the whole thing.
All right, so theory is great and all, but let's make this real. The absolute best way to get a feel for the test is to look at some actual questions. So let's do that right now. Okay, here's our first sample question, and it's all about that extroversion thing we just talked about. So, which of these would an extroverted Australian be more likely to enjoy? A, quiet time alone, B, going to a crowded festival, C, reading a book at home, or D, watching a movie alone? What do you think?
If you guessed B, going to a crowded festival, you got it. So let's break down why that's the right answer.
So here's the official reasoning. It says, Australians are known for their outgoing and friendly personalities, making them more likely to enjoy social situations and crowds. Now, it's pretty interesting, right? It links extroversion with enjoying social stuff, but also throws in a cultural stereotype. It's a good reminder that on a practice test like this, sometimes it's more about recognizing the pattern the question is looking for, rather than some deep psychological dive. All right, on to the next one. This one's about the judging or J preference. So, which of these fits best with a J-type personality? Is it being spontaneous, organized, adaptable, or curious? Yup, you nailed it. The answer is B, being organized and structured. And the reason why is something that trips up a lot of people. Here's the official word. Australians with a judging personality type tend to be organized, planful, and follow established routines. They prefer structure and predictability. See, this is a perfect example of how the MBTI uses words in a very specific way. Judging has absolutely nothing to do with being judgmental of others. It just means you like things planned out, settled, and organized. Okay, last sample question. This one gets at the thinking versus feeling preference. How do people with a thinking preference tend to make decisions? Is it based on personal values and emotions, or is it based on logical analysis and objective facts? And the answer is B, based on logical analysis and objective facts. You're getting the hang of this. And the explanation really spells it out. Australians tend to value practicality and logical reasoning over sentimentality when making decisions, indicating a preference for thinking. So basically, a thinking preference means you lean on logic and facts.
The flip side of that is the feeling preference, which is all about considering personal values and how a decision is going to impact other people.
Okay, so now you've seen the structure, you've seen the kinds of questions I'll ask. So what's next? The practical part. How do you actually prepare for this thing? Well, the source material is super clear on this, and it all points to one thing: using the right digital tools. And here it is, the solution. The official recommendation is to practice with the Easy Quizzz online simulator and their mobile app. This is the toolkit they point to for getting ready.
And this platform is pretty cool because it's built specifically for this. You've got an exam mode that feels just like the real deal, and a practice mode you can customize. You can bookmark tough questions to come back to, study offline wherever you are, which is amazing, and maybe the best part, you can review your results to see exactly where you need to focus. It helps you learn from your mistakes.
So really, it all boils down to a super simple two-step plan. Step 1, get comfortable with those 6 core topics we talked about. And step 2, just take a bunch of multiple choice practice tests using a tool like this so the format and the content becomes second nature. And that's pretty much it. We've gone from practice to, hopefully, a whole lot of confidence. We've looked at the big challenges, we've broken down the test, and you've got the tools you need. So what's the big takeaway here? What's the one thing you should walk away with? It's this. The MBTI is not a pass or fail test. It's not judging you. It's just a tool for understanding yourself better. And preparing for it isn't about winning or beating the test. It's about getting rid of the anxiety so you can just be yourself and answer honestly. That's how you unlock the real insights it has to offer.
So now you know exactly how to prepare. You've got the roadmap, you've got the tools. The only question left is the fun one. Are you ready to go discover your type? Thanks so much for watching.